Hi everyone, Jai Hind and welcome to the platform of StudyIQ IAS and English. My name is Bhanwar Singh, ex-NDA 115 course in Qualified Civil Services in 2012 and I welcome you on the platform. Now in this session, we'll be talking about that what will be different in this attempt that you will be taking in 2027. Now this is quite important over here to remember and to note that when it comes to your preparation, so if you are not changing anything in your preparation, why should the result change? So this is quite important that in today's session, I'll be talking about your preparation especially. All right, so this is quite important and be with me till the end of the session so that you can connect and you can know that why this is quite important for your preparation absolutely. No matter that you are giving the examination in 2027 for the first time or it is your repeated attempt. So you have to understand over here that when it comes to the reflection, so you have to honestly reflect upon some of the things which you have done yet. Just think about your last preparation, all right, or the preparation that you are doing right now. And over here you have to reflect that if you are studying hard or not. Because ultimately, when it comes to studying, so you must have heard lots of aspirants saying that we studied for so many of hours. So ultimately, if by studying, it is all about the quantity or the quality that you have to judge and that you have to reflect on yourself. And ultimately, if you are studying hard as well, you have to see and reflect that whether it is or you feel that it was enough or it wasn't. Even you have to see that did you feel overwhelmed when it comes to the complete preparation. All right, there are too many sources, there are too many information that is available and ultimately there is too little clarity. And even if it comes to the revision, have you ever done the revision specifically? And also when it comes to the answer writing, did you start the answer writing too late? So these are the important things that you have to consider that what will be different this time when it comes to the complete preparation of yours. Now also this is quite important because when it comes to the aspirants, so we actually get into the numerous cycles which are there where we get motivated. And through that motivation, we get that motivation that could be from anyone. It could be from me, it could be from any other sources as well, or it could be the self-motivation that we are talking about. And after motivation, what happens is that we start studying. Then there is a break that comes in between. And ultimately, there is a guilt that starts building up. Oh my God, I have lost so much of the time. And ultimately, that, after the guilt, what happens is that we again restart. We again look for the motivation and then again we start with the preparation. So over here, what happens is that ultimately, we are not failing this because of the lack of the hard work that we do. It is basically about, repeating the cycle ultimately. But at the same time, when it comes to this complete cycle, there has to be no interpretations that had to be there. And that is what it will sail you through in your complete preparation. Now understand that these are the three important changes that you have to make. And ultimately, that will lead to your success in the civil services exam or the IAS. The first one is you have to limit your sources. Do not go for many of the sources that are available in the market. All right, limit your sources. Always go through the standard sources and the resources which are there and just go for the one good source. That is only important. All right, that is quite important and just master it. All right, just repeat it like, if you are going for the 5 different sources, just repeat one good source for the 5 times and that will change your destiny. Remember this. There's also another thing that you have to decide today and you have to take the decision that you have to follow one structured plan that is required. Now you have to stop reinventing your approach every month. You have to just have a focus, build a longer duration plan where you should plan for nearly about a year. All right, so ultimately that is the plan. Right now, you know that the examination will be conducted in May 2027. And also there would be mains that will be conducted somewhere around August. So this is the time period that we are talking about. This is the complete year that will change your destiny. And you have to build a complete long period duration of the plan. And then you have to, bifurcate it monthly. And do not deviate from your plan. That is very, very important. And the third decision is that revision is quite important. More than that, you go for the numerous information or the numerous resources. It is quite important that you have to devote your time in the revision, and ultimately it is about the retention, because the more coverage, and ultimately less retention, that will not lead to your success. But when it comes to retention, if you have more retention as compared to the resources that you have, that will beat the selection. So selection comes from a complete disciplined repetitions that you have to understand, and not just from the constant reinvention of your plans. Now this is quite important because ultimately you have to move to or towards the progress that should be there. Now you must be doing some activity. You have to convert that activity into your progress. Where it comes to watching the lectures, you have to move towards revising the lectures, because ultimately that will build your retention capability. Then reading books, you have to move towards retaining the concept. That is the progress that I'm talking about. And from making notes, you have to you have to use those notes when you are giving the examination. And from studying daily, you have to move towards improving weekly. That is required. So this is the progress that I'm talking about. That is quite important for your complete selection in the civil services examination. Now these are the 4 questions that you must answer honestly. The first one is that, do I know my complete roadmap? And this roadmap is not just about your strategy. This is about the complete knowledge about the subject, that what is your roadmap subject wise, whether it is polity, economy, it is geography, or your optionals as well. Then do you know your roadmap month wise, that what you will be doing and covering in the upcoming months? And then you have to know about it week wise as well, that what is your target for the current week. Then the second question that you have to answer honestly, that is that who keeps me accountable? Because ultimately when it comes to preparation, it is easy to start the preparation, but when it comes to the consistency, that is hard to build. And that consistency cannot be built without someone towards whom you are accountable, or who keeps you accountable as well. So self-accountability, sometimes and often it isn't enough, and that is what you have to understand. And then you have to give the answer to this next third question, that is, how will I revise? Because ultimately when it comes to revision, it actually requires a system, a proper system that should be there. And also it is quite important that it is not just about your intentions that, okay, I will revise. And then the fourth question that you must answer honestly is, how will I measure my improvement? How can I move ahead? And ultimately, I can measure my improvement week by week basis. So these are the questions that you have to answer honestly and write down those answers. And if you do not have the answer, remember that we have made a system where ultimately your preparation, it will need that system that I'm talking about. Because this preparation system that I'm talking to you is basically built around a clear roadmap where actually you get the day by day structure right from the start towards your examination. Also, there is a scheduled revision where we have the built-in non-negotiable revision cycles, where we have the 3-step revision that we actually give you on the platform of the StudyIQ. There is also regular assessment where we have the frequent tests to track your real improvement, where the test cycle is daily along with weekly and monthly tests as well. Then there is the answer writing that you get on the platform of StudyIQ, where you get the structured practice from the very first week itself. And then we have the mentorship, where you get the guidance when it matters the most, whenever you are feeling down. And then there is the accountability, because this system actually keeps you on the track. And that is what I am talking about, that this is the system that you will find on the platform of StudyIQ, where we have resolution P2I batch for the GS Foundation. Now these batches on the platform of StudyIQ, they are basically based upon the SMART model, where you get the structured classes where we build your foundation right from the NCRT. Then you get the mentorship as well, which is 1:1 mentorship, which you get, and ultimately you can connect to the mentors wherever you are feeling lost in your preparation. And then we have the assessment dashboard that actually gives you the right kind of the guidance, that is, it tells you your strength and the weaknesses. And thereby you improve week by week basis. And then there is the 3-step revision that I told you, which is inbuilt into the curriculum. And then we have the test series as well. So this is the SMART model that I'm talking to you about, and you can enroll into the GS Foundation batch. Now this is quite important because the batch, the admissions, they are closing on 21st of July. So enroll before 21st of July so that you do not miss any of the classes. And for gaining the maximum discount, you can use the code BRS Live. And through this code, you will get the maximum discount that will be there. Alright, so this is very important because this is, when it comes to the preparation, it is always not one-sided commitment. I am not asking for your commitment, I am giving you my commitment as well. And this is the two-way commitment that we are talking about, where actually you will, my promise is that there will be honest guidance and there will be no false promises, but only what works for your selection. There will be a complete structured preparation where there will be a system that you can trust and follow. And there will be continuous support that will be given to you through the mentorship, where you can be present throughout your journey without any fail. But also I require your commitment as well. And your commitment is about discipline, where you show up every single day. Your commitment should be about the consistency, that is, even when the motivation fades, you keep on going. And your commitment should be about the patience, where you have to trust the process over the time, and also the execution, where plans they mean nothing if you are not moving towards the action. So this is the commitment that I am asking about or asking you about. And always remember that the future, it is rarely changed by the one grand decision. It is changed by the one committed beginning that you must give in right now. So that would be all in this session. Thank you very much, guys, for joining me over here. I will see you in the batch, which is starting from 21st. All right, the admissions, they are closing on 21st of July. So please enroll before that so that you do not miss even a single day of your journey. So that would be all. Thank you. Bye-bye. Take care. And do not forget to like the session, even share the session with your friends who are preparing for the civil services. Thank you and Jai Hind.